I'm gonna punch in. Oh no, big damage. The starters, I love it. You know, certain people, including me, I get a little lazy, but I'm gonna keep it safe, low forward. Now I need the better punish.
Oh, airball punish on this.
Fierce Shoryuken, of course, for the Oki for the stand fierce. There it is, and it was meaty enough. Do it again. No, we're conditioning. We're trying to snipe it out. There you go.
Activates here. This is the comeback factor, level 2. Oh, punish. Setup. Take the side swap, baits the throw. Oh, he missed. Oh, the palm missed, so he didn't get the setup. That's a huge drop there from Mana.
That is a finish. Absolutely.
So, if that all sounded like complete gibberish to you or a different language, good. You're in the right place. You're trying to watch your first big fighting game event, either EVO or CEO or Combo Breaker, and you feel the hype, you feel the crowd's electrifying energy, but you can't understand a single word that the commentators are saying, and it feels like complete Morse code. We're gonna fix that today. In this video, we're going to be breaking down some essential slang terms that is used in the fighting game community, or aka the FGC, so you can follow along in every insane moment, not miss a beat, and we're going to try to cram years of terms, or at least some of the major terms, into this one video. Hey everyone, for those of you that are new here, my whole goal is to make fighting games less intimidating and more approachable, and honestly the biggest barrier I feel personally is the language. The vocabulary that we use in the FGC has been built over decades, man. Let me tell you, it's been built since before I was born, okay? And I was born in 03. But with the years that I have played fighting games, have watched fighting game tournaments, I've picked up on some of the slang. Yes, I have watched some before I started even doing my YouTube channel. I've watched a lot of fighting game events, but across countless games in arcades and living rooms all over the world, it's language, pure strategy, execution, and hype. And to kind of further push on that, Korean backdash, boom. There's a lot of terms, okizeme. I believe I'm saying that right. If you want to show it, oki, which is a Japanese term, and so on and so forth, are some of the highlights of that. And like any other language, you just need a few keywords to get you started, right? Think of this video as your guide. We're going to be breaking down the most common terms, starting with the big ideas, and you'll see in every single game. By the end, you won't just understand the commentators or what the commentators are shouting about. You'll have a deeper appreciation for the strategy happening on screen. Let's start with the fundamentals. So first up, let's talk about the term you'll hear more than anything else, and that term is neutral. Neutral is simply the state of the game where neither player has a clear advantage. Think about the start of a round. Both characters are on the ground, free to move, and trying to find a way in. That's neutral. It's the strategic dance where players are fighting for position, trying to control space, and create an opening. When a commentator says a player won neutral, it just means they successfully found that opening and started their offense. So how do you win neutral, right? That's where footsies come in. Footsies is the name for the mid-range battle over spacing. It's all about using your character's normal attacks, we call them pokes, to control the space just outside of your opponent's attack range. For example, Ken's pokes are, I personally use heavy punch and I use crouching medium kick. Pokes are used to control the space just outside of your opponent's attack range. The goal is usually to bait your opponent into whiffing an attack, which is just a fancy word for missing and then punishing them for it while they're stuck in their recovery frames. A player with great footsies has incredible timing and spacing, and you'll hear commentators praise their godlike footsies when they always seem to be one step ahead. All right. Now for the word that gets everyone excited and hyped. Combos. A combo is just a sequence of attacks that if the first one hits, the rest are guaranteed. The opponent is literally stuck in hit stun, unable to do anything but watch their life bar melt away. Combos are the ultimate reward for players' practice and execution, and they're almost always the most hype moment in a match. And inside the world of combos, you'll hear the term B&B, which stands for bread and butter. A B&B is a character's go-to reliable combo. It might not be the most flashiest or the most damaging one they can do, but it's the practical one that works in most situations, like Ken's medium punch, heavy punch into run Tatsu, basically, right? Or run Shoryuken. It's the combo a player has burned into their muscle memory. Commentators might point out that a player is just sticking to their B&Bs, meaning they're playing a solid, smart, fundamental game. Once a player wins neutral, they want to apply pressure. A key tool for this is the mix-up. A mix-up is any offensive sequence that forces the opponent to guess between their defensive options. Do you guard high to block an overhead attack, or do you guard low for the sweep? Or will they go for the throw, which beats out all guarding options? The only option that you do have in that situation is to tech the throw, or just hit the throw button back so that way you won't get thrown. A player with a scary mix-up is terrifying because they're constantly forcing you into a guessing game, where one wrong move means you're eating a full combo. To keep them guessing, an attacker might use a frame trap. This is a clever trick using the game's timing. It's an attack sequence with a tiny deliberate gap in between the hits. The gap is just big enough to bait the defender into thinking it's their turn, but if they press a button, they get hit. It's a trap. A good frame trap conditions the opponent to just hold still and respect the pressure, which lets the attacker continue their offense or go for another mix-up. One of the oldest and most effective mix-ups is the cross-up. A cross-up is a jumping attack that's spaced just right so that it hits you on the other side of your guard, forcing you to switch your guard direction at the very last second. It's a classic way to crack a solid defense because your brain is screaming guard one way, but the attack hits you on the other side. You hear the whole crowd erupt in screams of glorious hurrahs when a player lands a clutch cross-up to start their comeback. So, what happens when you do get hit by the mix-up and get knocked down? This leads us to one of the most important situations in any fighting game, the wake-up. The moment your character gets up off the ground is a super critical and vulnerable state. The other player is standing right over you, ready to attack, and your options are limited. What you do in that split second can decide the entire round. The strategy an attacker uses against a knockdown opponent has a special name, Oki-zeme, or just Oki for short. It's a Japanese term that basically means wake up offense. It's the art of keeping the pressure on a rising opponent. This could mean timing a meaty attack to hit you on the very first frame you stand up, or it could be another perfectly timed mix-up. Good Oki feels suffocating, trapping a player in a loop of knockdowns and pressure. That's why you'll hear commentators say, once he gets the knockdown, it's pretty much over. Okay, this next one sounds like you just went into college and you're starting a programming class, but it's the hidden math that runs everything in a fighting game, frame data. Every single action takes a specific amount of time measured in frames, usually 1/16 of a second. Frame data is just the breakdown of how many frames a move takes to start, how long it's active, and how long it takes to recover. This is what determines if a move is safe or punishable. When a commentator says a move is plus on guard, it means the attacker recovers first and can keep their turn going. If a move is minus on guard, it means it's unsafe and is the defender's turn to punish. Alright, let's pause for a second. We've covered the entire core loop of the fighting game match from neutral to offense and back to the terrifying wake up. If your brain isn't totally fried yet, do me a favor and drop a comment down below letting me know which of these terms was a light bulb moment for you. Was it footsies, oki, frame data? Let me know, and then we'll get back into the deep stuff. Ready to get a little more technical? Let's talk about the DP, which stands for Dragon Punch. The name comes from Ryu and Ken's iconic Shoryuken in Street Fighter. But now DP is a generic term for any special move that is invincible when it starts up. It's the ultimate get off me button when you're on wake up and you think your opponent is going to hit you with a meaty attack. You can throw out DP to blow right through their offense. It's a high risk, high reward though. If it hits, you're back to neutral. But if they bait it out and guard, you're left wide open for a huge amount of damage. To really understand how moves interact, you need to know about the hitbox and the hurtbox. These are the invisible shapes that decide everything. The hitbox is the part of your attack that deals damage. The hurtbox is the part of your character that can take damage. Simply put, when an attacker hitbox touches a defender's hurtbox, a hit happens. That's it. You'll sometimes hear commentators point out a move with a disjointed hitbox, which just means that the attack's hitbox extends way beyond the character's own hurtbox, making it a super safe and powerful poke. Finally, let's get into the slang that's less about mechanics and more about the culture. First up, the pop-off. This is that raw, unfiltered explosion of emotion after a player wins a huge match. It can be a massive scream, jumping out of their chair, pumping their fist. It's that amazing hype moment where a player is allowed to let go of all that tension that has been building up over this massive event. The opposite of a pop-off is, of course, being salty. We all know what this term means, but in the FGC, it's a special kind of vibe. It's for a player who is clearly frustrated or bitter after a loss. You can see it in a quick head shake, avoiding eye contact, or giving a limp dead fish handshake. Commentators might say, "He's looking really salty after that last round." Sometimes a tournament match just isn't enough to settle a rivalry. That's when you get a money match, or a MM. This is a match played outside the official bracket where players put their own cash on the line. Money matches are all about pride and bragging rights. The stakes are personal and the tension can be even thicker than in the tournament. Alright, here we go. Here's one you'll hear in team games like Marvel vs. Capcom or Dragon Ball FighterZ. Happy birthday. This is what we call it. This is what we call it when a player manages to catch two of the opponent's characters in the exact same combo, their main character and the assist they called in. Here's one you'll hear in team games like Marvel vs. Capcom or Dragon Ball FighterZ. Happy birthday. This is what we call it when a player manages to catch two of the opponent's characters in the same exact combo, their main character and an assist character they called in. The name actually comes from the announcer in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for the person on the receiving end. It's a total disaster that usually means losing two characters for one massive mistake. And for the ultimate hype call, you have the Touch of Death, or TOD. A Touch of Death is one single uninterrupted combo that takes a character from 100% health all the way down to 0. is the most devastating type of combo and often incredibly difficult to do. Seeing a player land a TOD in a big tournament is a legendary moment that gets the entire crowd on their feet, clapping and screaming for the touch of death combo. And there you have it. From the chess match of footsies to the pure explosion of a pop-off, that's the language of the FGC. It can seem like a lot from the outside, but every single one of these terms has a purpose and a deep strategy behind it. So the next time you tune into the grand finals, you'll be able to follow the flow, appreciate the strategy, and actually get what all the hype is about. Of course, this is really just scratching the surface. The single best resource for learning more is the community-built site, The Fighting Game Glossary by Infill. I seriously can't recommend it enough. It's an incredible dictionary for hundreds of these terms. I will be leaving the link down in the description if y'all want to check it out. Now, I want to turn it over to you. What are the big FGC terms that I missed? Is there a word from your favorite game that every new player needs to know? Let me know down in the comments. And if this guide helped you out, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos that break down the world of fighting games. Thank you all for watching once again. Now go on and enjoy the show. Peace.